My name is Chase Pipes with the Relic Room, and today we're going to talk about Peruvian butterfly frames. These butterfly frames are all handmade by local villagers at the headwaters of the Amazon rainforest. Each frame comes with a beautiful butterfly that was collected at the very end of their natural life cycle. Starting in the 1980s, these local Amazon villagers constructed giant arboretums as a means to draw tourism to their area. These arboretums would showcase rare and unique animal and plant species, including butterflies that were native to the Amazon region. At the end of the day, these villagers would walk the arboretum grounds, collecting only those butterflies that had naturally reached the end of their natural life cycle. These butterflies would then be cleaned and professionally preserved and mounted in these display cases, ready for scientific use or personal study. The collecting of physical specimens for identification and scientific study goes back as far as the age of the Enlightenment, the end of the 18th century. Before the early 1700s, there was no scientific database or list of the plant and animal life for any given area. It's hard to believe, but modern science is only a few hundred years old, and it would take literally generations of documentation, exploration, and scientific study to figure out what animals lived in what specific area, like these butterflies. It's so hard to believe, but really until the 19th century, there was no scientific record or documentation for any of these species. It was in the work of thousands of passionate explorers and early scientists to go out into the field, collect these specimens, identify them, categorize them, write them up, and maintain them for display so that other people could learn and study those species. This is how our scientific record was built, and this is true for any given area that you can think of. Every single one of these butterflies were collected ethically and sustainably by the local people. They were then placed into these protective display cases that also at the bottom includes all of the individual species of the butterflies that are within these sets. So that means that you get to go home and research all of these individual butterflies and learn about these really fascinating creatures, species by species. How cool is that? This species is called Morphodidius, or giant blue morpho. There are over 29 different species within the genus Morpho. This butterfly is one of the largest within that genus, with a wingspan of up to 6 inches long. Is that not crazy? Native to Peru, the larva of this species feeds on palm trees, and once in adult form, its main predator is a species of bird called the flycatcher. This species, Morpho sawalski, is another species within that Morpho genus. This species is a native to Peru, Ecuador, and Colombia, and is a neotropical butterfly. This species is a tropical Andean cloud forest specialist living in the mountains as high as 11,000 feet in elevation, and is one of only 2 morphos living at that elevation. The last one that we have that we're going to show you is not a butterfly, but it looks like it. It's actually a moth. This is the sunset moth. The sunset moth is one of the most impressive and colorful moths in the world. It was first described in 1773 by English naturalist Drury. Unlike most moths, this species has 6 tails, 3 on each side, and also unlike most moths, this species is a day moth, whereas most moths are nocturnal. How is it that these species of butterflies and moths can showcase such a wide range of color? It's because the wings are covered by microscopic scales. It is how these scales are positioned and shaped that gives the wings their color, showing off different parts of the visible light spectrum. For over 20 years, the Relic Room has been working with the men and women down in Peru who put these sets together. We are so proud of that relationship, and we guarantee that each individual butterfly or moth was ethically and sustainably collected. We really pride ourselves with having not only genuine moth species, but beautifully created display cases that will preserve and protect that specimen long past your lifetime. If this is something that you're interested in, if this is something that you want to get, maybe you're interested in science, you want to learn something cool about butterflies, just click that link down below in the description and start your journey today. Remember guys, history rocks. Woohoo!